Hello everyone, my name is Marcus and this is another Warmain video. This is going to be a video about add-ons, how you can make your add-ons look like what you see right here, as well as some useful add-ons for PvP. Let's just get started. The first one I'm going to show you is the unit frame modification add-on called ShadowedUF. So if I unlock the frames, you can see this is the unit frame modification add-on. I can move around the player, I can move around my target, target of target, boss HP, focus target. I can move around just about anything, and I also think it looks much cleaner than the standard Blizzard user interface. You can modify quite a lot of this. So for example, you can remove your mana or rage bar. You can also enable or disable your health bar, so maybe for whatever reason you only want to look at your mana or you only want to look at your HP. That's an option you have. You can add a cast bar, also an option, and of course you can change the size, you can change the height, the width. You can make it look exactly how you like, and that's very important to making a clean user interface, because Blizzard's basic user interface to me looks terrible. So this is a way to improve that. The next one we're going to look at is the add-on called SexyMap. It's this one here on the right, top right corner, and it's very simple. It just lets you show the map. You can have different styles. Yeah, if I wipe my settings, different styles, different looks. You can make it look quite decorative. The one I use is blue rune circles. And again, you can increase the size if you want, and it's very simple. There's nothing to it. It just, to me, it looks better. Again, I think a lot of Blizzard's user interface looks quite old. It looks a bit outdated. Being able to replace that, to me, is nice. The next one I want to show you is visual, and it's also useful, and that's the one called Chatter. So you can see here, this looks like a fairly standard Blizzard regular World of Warcraft chat interface, but it's actually an add-on. What I can do here, let's have a look at chatter settings. There are quite a lot of options here. I can enable borders, I can make it look different, I can select the colors of individual people, individual chats. So for example, officer chat can be green, a dark green, whereas guild chat can be a bright green. Battleground chat, I can change the color if I want. I don't want to, but I can. The main reason I have this, with this you can add links. So if I actually create a link, I don't know, let's do Amazon.com, whatever. I can click on this link and I can copy it. So for example, if we do my own YouTube channel, so we do www.youtube.com/MarcusVideos. This is also the link where I stream. We can click on that, and then we can copy it and open it. If you're streaming, if you're making a video, if you're showing someone something, any links you click on will show up here in the center. I've accidentally shared Discord links like this, so you want to be careful when you use it. I'm not exactly sure if you can move this. I've tried. I don't really see an option to do it. But to me, it's better than not having the option. The next add-on is called Tidy Plate. It's just a different looking nameplate add-on, just a different look. I like how it looks more than the standard Blizzard one. The next one I have is an action bar modification add-on. Now, the one I have is not one I actually recommend. This one's called Razor Naga. I originally downloaded it because I thought that it would work well with my Razor Naga, but in reality, I don't use a Razor Naga as Razor wants you to use it, so you can just use Bartender, and they work in exactly the same way. What you can do is you just have different you can move around your action bars, you can change the opacity, you could say layout here, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, you can make it a little bit more blurred if you want, you can make it bigger, of course, smaller. I have all of mine set to 70 because I've been playing long enough that I don't need it to be so big. It's there if I forget a keybind for whatever reason, or I put something I click on possibly. So for example, like things like food or things I don't need to keybind. But it's small enough that it doesn't get in the way, and it's no taller than my chatter add-on. The other option for this, of course, is Bartender, and I actually recommend you use Bartender instead of Razor Naga, because you don't need Razor Naga features. Even if you have a Razor Naga, it's just not necessary. The next add-on I'm going to show you is called Bagnon. As you can see, my bag is completely unified. It's not one bag, then another bag, then another bag. So it's just like one big bag. It takes all of your bag slots and puts them into one large storage. Like that, you don't have to look around individual bags. It's just one big place. You can also search. You can search. So for example, I'm looking for, I don't know, ash candy, and it's here. So like that, it makes it a bit easier to organize. You can also, of course, change a number of settings. You can enable the bag frame. So you can see which item belongs in which bag. Quite simple. You also have the option in your guild bank. So if you go to your guild bank, it'll also be unified. The next add-on to look at is Quartz. The point of Quartz is mostly visual. It makes a better looking cast time. You can, of course, change a number of settings. You can change the colors. I've left everything on default except for the movement and the size. So if I cast the mount, you see I have Swift Spectral Tiger. It's a little bit higher up than the Blizzard one, as you can see. And it shows the total cast time. It's 1.5 seconds. Of course, if something else takes longer to cast, then it is a longer cast time. Now we're going to look at some combat-based add-ons. The first one we're going to look at is ISA. This one right here is a cooldown tracking add-on, so you can actually see the different cooldowns that people use, and you can track them. So for example, you see this warrior here has used charge. If this paladin uses any spells, you can see Hammer of Justice. I can see that. This warrior has used charge and blood rage. I can note that. This hunter just used freeze and trap not too long ago. So like that, I can anticipate things and I can see when certain people use certain spells. And I can select my last 3 targets, or I can just choose my target. Next up we're going to look at is one called Cheese. And you can see on my left and right, there are 2 shield icons in the center of my screen. Let's get it again. And this shows that I get Sword and Board. And that means the rage of my next shield slam is reduced by 100%. This is also useful for other classes such as Paladins for Art of War, Arms Warriors if you have Sudden Death. As you can see again, Sword and Board, and I get the icons. And this add-on is called Cheese. Another useful add-on is called MoveAnything. I have it here. And this allows you to move anything. Quite literally, you can move around your bag interface, your arena interface, your action bars, battleground icons, battleground information, your guild tab, you see guild bank, guild info, you can move everything. And this is useful if you want to use the default Blizzard interface. You don't want to use anything different.
Tap down.
The next one you can see is called, well, that was a big crit. The next one you can see is called OmniCC. And you see the number, it shows the actual cooldown of the spell that's left. So instead of guessing, instead of getting the rotation animation, which you still get, you can see the number, so you know exactly when the spell will be available. And again, you have some options. You can change the font, you can change the text, you can change the size of it, the color. You have options. Again, link to this will be in the description. Okay. The next one is called Sound Alert. Now, you will have almost certainly heard this. This is the add-on that gives a voice when someone uses a cooldown. So if I tell my friend to use Bubble, you'll hear
Divine Shield.
Divine Shield. It tells you when it's available. And if I shatter,
Bubble Down.
Bubble Down. And it shows you, it tells you that information. So it's very obvious when that important information is there. Because maybe you zoom out a lot. It may be more difficult to see when these spells are used and when they go off cooldown. And the next one is called Spell Alerter. The name is quite similar, but they do different things. It tells you what spell is being cast and on who if you decide to use that option. So if we do Spell Alerter, again, we have a number of settings. And I can actually see here where I want to position it. So for example, if I want to put it low down, I can. High up, I can do that as well. Let's just lock it. Again, I keep this mostly as a default, and I have different spells that I can add here. Most of them I put here. So for example, not all of them are important. So for example, let's say I particularly want to see if a warrior uses Bladestorm. So if a warrior uses Bladestorm, I can see that. So as you can see here, my friend here is casting Flash of Light, and you see the name, you see the color, the pink indicates it's a paladin, and you see the spell and the icon. And you also saw there was a Shadow Priest casting something before then. So that is again information that's useful. Now, one thing that's quite good about this is that it gives you a pretty big indication of maybe an important spell that's being cast. So for example, you struggle to see when a druid casts Cyclone, or you struggle to see if a Shadow Priest uses Vampiric Touch. These are very important bits of information for you, and spotting them can make a very big difference. So you can interrupt, you can react, you can do something about it if you see it. The other two important add-ons I want to conclude with are Deadly Boss Mods and Gladius. Deadly Boss Mods is primarily used in PvE, but in Battlegrounds it actually shows you the time for objectives. So if you capture a base in Arathi Basin, you can see that in 1 minute it will be taken completely and controlled. So you know exactly how much time you have to react in order to capture the objective. Because an objective in Arathi Basin takes 10 seconds to capture, if you see that there are only 5 seconds left, you know that there's no point trying to capture that objective, because it'll just interrupt you and you have to do it again. So that's something that's very useful. It also shows you things for PvE, of course, as I said. So if you do some raiding, you get some very important information. And lastly, we have Gladius. Now, I'm going to show a clip of an arena, and you'll just be able to see that on the right side of your screen, you get, well, I have it on the right side. You see information about the health, the spell casting of your arena targets, so you can get more information like that. It helps you to make decisions in the arena. It makes things easier to see, so that helps you play better, in my opinion. And so this is the conclusion of my add-on video. I hope you found this very useful. If you've enjoyed this video and you found it useful, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more content. Bye!